Long ago, in the heart of a remote Nigerian village called Umuk, there was a story that every elder warned their children about. A tale so chilling that even the bravest hunters dared not venture into the forest after dusk. It was the story of the drums that summoned the dead. In Umuk, the drum was not just an instrument. It was a voice, a sacred link between the living and the spiritual realms. During festivals, the drums sang songs of joy, praising the gods and ancestors. But there was one drum, known as a korondu, the drum of life, whose sound was forbidden to be heard after sundown. A korondu was carved from the trunk of an ancient Iroko tree, a tree believed to house spirits. Legends whispered that its beats could call upon spirits, both good and evil. The drum belonged to the opera, the village elder and custodian of sacred traditions. Only he could strike it, and only in daylight, when the sun's light kept darker forces at bay. But as with every tale, there was always one soul who dared to break the rules. Odigu was a proud and stubborn young man. He was a gifted drummer, but his pride blinded him to reason. One fateful evening, during the annual New Yam festival, the elders warned everyone.
Do not touch the Ekoronu after the sun sets, or you will awaken the forgotten spirits.
Odigu, drunk on palm wine and arrogance, laughed at the elders. How can a mere drum, summon spirits? These are old wives' tales meant to scare children. As the village danced and celebrated, Odigu crept away to the shrine where the Ikorondu was kept. The moon hung heavy in the sky, casting long shadows over the silent forest. He reached the shrine, a small thatched hut surrounded by charms and cowrie shells. He hesitated for a moment, the elder's warnings echoing in his mind, but his pride drowned out his fear. He struck the drum. Boom! It was deep and resonant, shaking the ground beneath him. It echoed through the forest, louder than any drum he had ever played. Suddenly, the wind stilled, and the village seemed to hold its breath. He struck it again. Boom! From the ground, swirling around his feet. He heard whispers, faint at first, but growing louder. It was not the joyous chatter of the villagers, it was something else. Something ancient. The whispers became voices, and the voices became wails. From the mist emerged figures, translucent and glowing, their eyes hollow, their faces twisted in eternal anguish. They were the Nzuzu, the restless spirits of those who had died unjustly or without proper burial rites. Odigu, one spirit hissed, "Why have you called us?" He froze, his hands trembling on the drum. I didn't mean to," he stammered, his bravado melting into terror. But the spirits were relentless. They encircled him, their forms shifting between human and shadow. "You woke us from our slumber. Now we hunger for what was denied to us in life." Back in the village, the people heard the wails and saw the mist creeping toward their homes. The opera, sensing what had happened, shouted, "The Ekorondu has been struck after dark. The spirits are unleashed." The villagers scattered, locking themselves in their huts, praying to the gods for protection. But the opera knew prayers alone would not save them. He gathered his charms, lit a sacred fire, and prepared to confront the spirits. At the shrine, the spirits were dragging Odigu toward the forest. "Wait," the opera's voice boomed. He stood at the edge of the clearing, his staff glowing with spiritual energy. The spirits paused. "Odigu is a fool, but his life does not belong to you," the elder declared. "Return to the underworld, and I will make the offerings you were denied." The spirit hissed in anger but respected the elder's authority. If he strikes the drum again, his soul will be ours, they warned before dissolving into the mist. The opera turned to Odigu, who was kneeling, tears streaming down his face. You have brought shame and danger to our village. To atone, you will tend the shrine and serve the gods for 7 years. Fail, and the spirits will return. From that day, the Ekorondu was never struck again. Odigu became a humble servant, learning the sacred ways and respecting the forces he once mocked. The villagers, too, remembered the cost of arrogance and the power of their traditions. And so, when the wind carries the faint echo of drums in the night, the people of Yumuk say a silent prayer, remembering the night the dead were summoned and the lesson that no one dared forget.